Okay, everyone, how are you? Hope you're doing great. Hope your week was great. Mine was okay too, and I'm really glad to see or maybe get to do this video, and also glad that you are here to watch it and following together as a team and traders. So welcome back to JSMFX, here to do another session of analysis, focus and reviews of the week, and also how we look to see how the month of August will welcome us going forward from next week. I'm going to look at two pairs only because according to my data in psychology, I had to, uh, streamline myself and also, uh, just uh, breaking things down so that it can be simple for me to trade. So as I also share this experience, I just hope you'll understand. If I don't get to look at the pair that you do look at, then my apologies for that. But I'm going to look at Euro USD and USD CHF. Why? Because I believe these two pairs normally go opposite of each other. So when one is buying, one is selling. So I decided to 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 cut down to two pairs because I was doing like six. So I decided to cut down to two because I saw that I was confusing myself so many times when I was looking at so many pairs. So deciding on leaving Euro USD and USD CHF took quite some time, but I'm really glad that I have that experience now to understand who I am going to stick with. So starting off with the Euro USD, we have, starting off from the weekly, we have the current price action where it's here. You can see very well that it has touched this supply where it wanted to target at. And right now, as you see, we've had this kind of movement to the downside, and then all these candles broke the previous candles high. Then we had a slight pullback here, then we had a high, then this low came to react to this demand and then went up but didn't break the previous high. So right now it has come and taken out this low. Now two things. One thing, it has taken out with the liquidity, so that means yes, we can say this is a change of character, which could be a signal for us to change direction to the downside and start to sell. But we cannot also be sure about that because if you look very closely from the weekly, we have this weekly range for me, which I think is the monthly. So here being weekly, you can see very well that yes, maybe it's hungry for the price and would love to see it come up to those sections. So for now, yes, we can say this is a change of character and maybe a little bit of some pullback is coming in to maybe mitigate this bullish candle, which is happens to be the supply. And also, if you're doing SMC, then you can call this a flip zone. If you don't know what flip zone is, let me know in my inbox so that I can walk you through personally and coach you to understand smart money concept in depth. So we have this supply where maybe price could come to and then continue to the downside. And also, sorry about that. And also we have the previous supply that we just talked about that we see that maybe price could also want to go to mitigate it later on. So because this is the weekly, that will take very long time. So let's just go to the daily and see how things are really opening up. So the daily, we saw very well that playing between this low and that high, and before you get to that high, we saw a very deep pullback after this previous high was broken to there, and then price shot to the upside. Now along this move to the upside, we didn't see any kind of pullback in between. So what price did came down like that, okay, after a series of a little bit of or many corrective pullbacks. We saw that it came to that weekly demand where it reacted from, okay, then induced people more, okay, induced more buyers, and also took out all some of the sales buy side liquidity around here, the ones that were selling, hoping that maybe price would go deeper, and then use these opportunity to come now and take them out, especially these ones. After taking the buy side, they came and took the sell side, and then also took out the sell side liquidity of people that were buying, with all those momentum and selling candles. And also take out this low, because if you check out this low very well, let me try and see if I can zoom in on that one. If you check out also, this one was not mitigated by this one or either this one. So this is the opportunity that they took to come and mitigate this last pullback, before the break or structure. Okay, so now from here is where we see the engulfing candle of the daily, which has now pushed to the upside. So this one could also, continue to come and break the high, or maybe mitigate this one. Okay, mitigate this what do you call it? Supply around here. Okay, some supply around there, and then continue to the downside. So what stands evident for me right now is the uptrend. Okay, so we can see very well that let me try and see if the fib actually was touched on the 50. Yeah, you can see the 50 was touched, 50%. So price came into the discount area, and also the discount area happened to be this demand, okay, which was waiting for price to come and take out all those guys who are buying all the way up, and also here all the way up, came and took them, and then maybe now they are ready to continue with the uptrend. So that can be one issue. But before we do that, let me first mark this as my next demand, where I'll be expecting, if price continues to the upside, then I'll be expecting this kind of move to happen. Okay, but it's all unpredictable, and yeah, we just wait for price to come to there and then we react. But we don't predict that price will do that coming in next week or maybe sometime later in the future. So going in the 4 hour, also 4 hour is now, 4 hour is where we see things a bit clearly. We might be thinking that with the daily and the uptrend continuing, and also this mitigation and all that, continue to the upside, we also need to realize that as much as that is happening, okay, 4 hour has changed trends, okay, because if you check very well, we had this high forming this low and then broke to the upside, and then all these shenanigans concluded it's caused by changing this by breaking this low, okay, and now they are doing the deeper pullback. So this deeper pullback could be a deeper pullback to either the 50%, that is the premium side, either to the supply, that's maybe where I'll be expecting, or this one, the supply here, that was the extreme one for me. Maybe I'll be expecting price to come to there and then continue to the downside. So if it does break this low again, okay, then that means now we'll be officially changing the direction, and maybe the daily could be focused to come and target the lows and start to officially sell. Also, this supply is hungry for price, so I'll be expecting also for price to come to there. And not just that, if it does push price from there to the downside and break this low, then I'll be looking at my next target to be this demand. Okay. So I'm using a wider screen so that I can show you all these things. I hope you will have to, or maybe your PC, then you'll get to see things clearly the way I am doing. So I think that will be all for 4 hour. What I can also say is we had, let me try and zoom in here. Okay, so we had these slight pullbacks, okay. After they took out liquidity, I was arguing with one of the guys, I don't know which group it was, but he was trying to tell me that after the Trump candle and all this uptrend, we could be, focusing on breaking that high. But I told him, no, we still have this demand here that left this void, or rather formed this void, okay. So this void was still, targeting people to buy, especially the fair value gap guys, and all that. No offense to all of you that trade the fair value gap, but as you can see, this was a void that price was actually inducing buyers to buy from, okay, and then they came and took you out. So myself, I was actually expecting this one to hold and price to continue to downside, but I came to realize later that the same daily the same daily, what do you call it? The daily demand that we saw, the green one, had also a 4-hour demand down here. And also these double relative double bottoms were also targets. So as you can see, price came and broke through, okay, taking out all these liquidities right here and right here, and then mitigate this demand. And then price pushed up, okay, but it came down and then started ranging, not breaking any high or low, and then it formed this low. Now this low was to take out these ones. As you can see from my red line, I came out to check out these ones. These are guys that bought here, is expecting maybe price to go higher than than there where it was, and yeah, took them out, mitigated this demand. As you can see, this was the last demand before the actual break to the upside. So we had this demand and this demand. So this demand was taken out only to mitigate this one, and then NFP did this thing to change direction to the upside. So what are we seeing on the 4-hour? For me, I am seeing a change of character right here, because this was the last pullback that created the low and then price shot up to break it. So that means actually that's not the one. Let me try. I'll try my best to explain in depth so that people can see. So we have this change of character right here, and I'll delete this one because that was the last pullback. As you can see, this candle uh, didn't break lower than this one. So this was a pullback like that, then came down and then shot to the upside. So just like the daily, for me, I'm expecting price to come back down maybe to these sections of the daily and the 4-hour, and then continue to the upside. Relatively also, uh, price could just continue selling from there, because if you check very well, as much as this was a very good supply, okay, that price would have target to come to, it also broke to the upside, and just by breaking to the upside, we see also it built some few pullbacks around here with this gray candle or bearish candle. So yes, we can say price can, sorry, for me, I can say, I can say that maybe price could come back down to play around this area, okay, before it goes to the upside. But all that is just unpredictable. For now, we'll just live by facts. This one is broken, so I don't have anything to do with it. I'll remove it, and I will draw my next 4-hour demand right over here and change it to its custom color like that. Okay, so now that's, I think that's all I can say for now. And yeah, so let's go to the 15 minutes and see on the opportunities that we had. So 15 minute, very evident that things really boiled up. And for those that did actually see the bigger picture, especially from the 4-hour, then I don't know how to help you. If maybe you didn't remember of the zones that I talked about, especially in my previous videos, then I think you should just go to my previous videos, hit the like button, subscription, whatever. Just give a brother support and watch. Go over my videos and see if actually talking facts and not just that, but also trying to show you where these things are being targeted. So what are we seeing in the 15 minutes? So this is the 4-hour wholesale to buy range, sorry, buy to sell range, the brown one, and then we have these specific ones that I'm expecting price to come to. So being in the 15 minutes, we are also seeing that some few areas of supply that I'll also be anticipating for price to come to. And also this one is my next target. And yeah, just try and see how things will be from there coming in next week. So let's just talk about some few trades. I'll start off with this one. So we had, I think, when was this? This was on Thursday, the 29th. Okay. So price shot up, okay, and then came down, and then I put a sell stop, sorry, buy stop there, which actually continued to go to the upside. And then I realized this was on Thursday, right? No, Tuesday. So normally I'm not around on Monday, so Tuesday. So Tuesday I took that trade, and I think there was a couple of conferences, but only in the lower time frames, especially the 5 minute, which actually gave me the strength of faith to continue to the upside with this buy. So when it got to there, I took in some partials, and I put in my stop loss to break even, so around there, where price came and took them out. But also I had already took some partials, so I was expecting that after this change of character, price to come in, mitigate this supply, and then continue to the downside, but that wasn't the case. So as you can see, when that did happen, I think this now happened on Wednesday, okay, because Mondays and Thursdays I'm not around. So on Wednesday, this is what I noticed, that we had some few of ranges around here, and then price started to show some vibes, selling vibes. So this one was one of them that gave us a fake breakout with a change of character, and then came and took liquidity out first, especially this low, and this low, okay, and then came back. So I noticed that because of this downtrend, we couldn't have the chance to come to this supply. So what happened is, when price came up like that to mitigate the supply, I to be honest, I was skeptical, because if you check very closely, this was a sell which I would have taken, okay, but I hesitated. So what happens to be a fact is, after the price mitigated the supply, we see the price shot to the downside to mitigate this demand, and then came up. So I stated on this trade, and so I left it to happen to continue, and also continue selling. So going back to the higher time frame, we can see that was evident. That would have been evident if I would have paid attention to how the 4 hour was already, this demand was already mitigated, and now they could be targeting this void that we are talking about. But before all that, I was still skeptical, because I wanted to see price coming here first before I react. So I should have reacted, but yeah, let's just let bygones be bygones. That will be put or kept in my psychology closet, and remove it later when we see such kind of similar setup. So yes, price came in, and it was a very nice trade. I actually gave the guys in the group, so whoever took it, congratulations, should be smiling to the bank right now. So yes, so it actually, price took out this demand, so that was enough signal for us to say that now we were changing direction, and it happened to break the structure. So let me just remove this first as you continue. So up until Friday now, because Thursday I wasn't around, uh yeah, we were here, okay. So this was Friday, NFP day, big day, right? So we had a high, okay, which broke this low to just take liquidity, and then we had a reaction in that supply, thinking that maybe we could continue down, but that wasn't the case. It just mitigated some demand around here, and then shot to the upside. So causing change of character, came and reacted to this supply, okay, with a little bit of pullback, and then came down to mitigate this demand. Now see how price behaves. Okay, I want you to see something. Before you look at this whole candle, I want you to see something. So price came to the upside, okay, caused this low, this little pullback, which happened to give us a change of character by breaking that low, and then we had a return to the supply, which now continued now to push price to the downside. So coming in on Friday, let me now speed things up. I noticed that now we had this triangle, okay, and normally with triangles, I normally say that the break will always go, okay, 100% the same distance as here and here, okay. So when this triangle is forming that downtrend, for this case descending triangle, it got broken here, okay. I did take this trend that it was actually out of my plan, because I normally take my trades. My plan says take your trades during the Frankfurt, the London, or maybe the New York Open. So this one I took it very early. So I woke up very early to notice that there was that setup, which I took it very confidently, thinking or knowing that we're going to go to the upside. So I didn't want much. I just wanted 3R, but as you can see, London pushed it down. okay, to actually take out all this liquidity together with the sell side liquidity or the external range liquidity. So after price came here, that's when I realized we were now playing in between London and New York. So anything would have happened. All these red lines that you see are um, news times, which this one was a Euro news. It wasn't that important, but this was an NFP. So there was this change of character. Okay, price pullback, came up again, and then came down to take out this liquidity. Now remember, this setup right here is the same as this one. Remember this one? So that's when now I actually had so much confidence. I had so much confidence in NFP, knowing that this candle will be broken finally. Okay, so I placed in my buy stop there, and then price shot to the upside. Now the only downside to news is slippage. Okay, so yeah, I think my sell stop was here, but price was executed around here. Okay, so what they normally do is, let me try and take you through that a little bit. What they normally do is when slippage starts, say your entry starts from here, they now try and do some little bit of pullback so that if you had put in a very big lot, then they come and take you out before continuing to the upside. So the best advice I can give you is if you put your buy stop, say for example, a pending order like the buy stop around here, and then slippage does this thing. Please, when you're putting your pending order, try and put or place a small lot size. Okay, calculate your lot size, even if it's 1% of your initial balance, whether it's pro forma or live. Downsize it to at least 0.5 or maybe 0.4 or maybe 0.25, 0.25%, so that if the slippage does happen to put you in a drawdown, because with NFP it's very volatile, and price really fluctuates, and it can take you out even in a slight move here, just before maybe coming to mitigate this area. In a slight move around here, it can just blow you out, and yeah, that's if you placed in with a bigger lot. Okay, so yes, I had slippage around here, but price still continued to the upside. So yeah, I thank God for NFP and giving me such kind of confidence. So upon now the higher time frame view, sorry, the focus for this pair, like I said before, I am waiting for price to at least come here. But if it does, do change direction from here and do some little bit of pullbacks, then I'll be expecting it to come to this 4 hour demand. Okay, and look for any setups, and yeah, play the upside or the whole concept of pullback of the 4 hour, and also the change of direction on the 15-minute to bullish. Okay, because it was bearish, now it's bullish. So I think that will be all. Sorry for taking time explaining all about Euro USD, but that will be all for now, and that is just my view on this pair. So let us look at USD CHF, same thing, and same way, and see what we have in store. Okay, so USD CHF. Okay, so like I said before, I chose EU and USD CHF because they move in opposite directions. So that is those are the pairs that I've settled with going forward with my trading journey. So what are we seeing? We have some kind of change of character around here or here, and then price shot to the upside. So right now, price is just coming back to mitigate, especially this demand that maybe was left. So let's just confirm that real quick to see. Actually, it was a week, but let's see. Yes, it was a week, but seems like price really wants to come and dig deeper inside that demand, and yeah, see if we can get some few moves to the upside from that section. But before that happens, it will take a very long time. Let's now concentrate on what we have recently. So we have a break of structure here, price pull back, only to come and mitigate these exchanging wicks, and then short to the downside to break the structure or the low. Then from there, price again pulled back, but seems to me that they all were only targeting the supply that you're seeing that I've just highlighted. And maybe from there now, price could continue to the downside because we still have this weekly POI of demand, which I'm expecting price to come to. Another confusing thing is this demand right here that our price has actually come to right now. So also that I'll be keeping an eye on it to see how the lower time frames will respond or react from there, and see if maybe we can continue to the upside, because we don't, for me, I don't see any other supply above here. Maybe this one, but if it does come to here, then we'll be changing directions automatically. So I think from there, yes, we would be reacting from here to push price to the downside, or maybe come to mitigate this section and then continue to the upside. For me, I feel the downward move is more evident than the upward, because, sorry about that, I think we'll be disturbed a little bit with a little bit of construction outside. Just a second. So, unless if we do break to the upside, then that will only mean that we'll be changing direction, breaking this high. That will mean we of course a change of character, and then now we'll be having some few evidences that we will be going to the upside. So the daily, what do we see in the daily? Daily also same structure as weekly. Sometimes that does happen. Okay, so we had a change of character. I'll actually delete this one first, because as you can see, price shot to the upside to break this high, which we would have expected for price to react on this to this supply and then continue to downside, but that wasn't the case. Price shot to the upside, as you can see. So what else? We see the break just like the weekly, and now we have the officially we have the change of character on the daily right here by breaking this high. Okay, and then price now looks like it wants to go, or rather come and mitigate some few areas of demand before possibly continuing to the upside. So yes, this is actually a conundrum for me right now, and a little bit intricate, and I really don't know what will happen next, and I really can't tell for sure. But what I know from the previous data that we just had or talked about, especially on the weekly and the day and the daily, is that this supply has been mitigated. So maybe price would come and break this low. So yes, I think that will be all for the daily and what I'll be expecting. 4 hour, 4 hour played out very well also. Remember the Trump candle, we tried and talked about it. And as you can see, Trump candle pushed price down, okay, inducing a little bit of sellers. And sellers were coming from this supply, which they thought they would put the stop loss there. Okay, so actually they did that, mitigated that supply, caused a change of character with a little bit of return, and then continue to the downside. So this trend line, and also happened to be the bullish flag. If you check my previous videos, you will see it happened to be the bullish flag. We thought that the break of that and continuation to the downside to this demand would actually push price to the downside. But that wasn't the case. As you can see, price pushed up, came down to take out this low and also build double bottom. Okay, and yeah, so came down again to create that pullback, which as you can see, price has not come back to. Okay, so maybe with the benefit of hindsight, we can see that it could be ready to come down to mitigate this area. But that's not all. We mitigated that supply and then broke to the upside again, coming back to the same supply, and then now officially breaking the structure and sorry, breaking the supply to the upside. Okay, I was expecting price to at least come to the supply and react, but as you can see, it did react, but also rejected. Did a little bit of pullback right there. Again, pullback high. Now this high didn't touch this supply. Okay, if you zoom properly, especially in your charts, you'll see it didn't touch, but as you can see, price did cause a change of character by breaking this low. So came down really quick with the NFP, and yeah, didn't only mitigate this demand, but also breached it, just to come to this last, actually this demand that was beneath it. Okay, came and took it out, and maybe they could be, starting to pull back to either the supply before maybe continuing to the downside. That wasn't the case also, because you see the last candle now is a bearish one, so maybe that will be pushed lower enough to just continue to the downside, maybe to come and mitigate that demand, and also maybe this demand before maybe continuing with the direction to the upside, or also just come and break the low like that. So that is what I'll be expecting. Okay, so for me, I'm looking at sales mostly from this pair, because if you check very well, the trend is lower highs and lower lows. So at the low here, at the high, lower high, then lower low. So this can be a pullback to just push price, continue to the downside. So that's the 4 hour, and that is my focus. Um, 15 minutes, including also the trades that I took. Number one, we had this one. Like I said, in the triangles, when price breaks the triangle, okay, it actually does the return and then goes to the upside, the opposite direction, and also travels the same distance. Like I said, the same distance here is the same distance here that was moved. So what do we see? We had a change of character, playing ping pong between those two, demand and supply of the 4 hour. So we had a change of character again here, okay, by pushing price lower, and then came and mitigated that area of supply. And then now I took the advantage of that trade, okay, to come down. And I was very much mechanical. As much as I thought that price would come and break this low, I still had it in me that in this demand that they left before the change of character, they could be coming to react from there and then continue to the upside. So just like Euro USD, I also missed on this trade because I felt that maybe with this break we are continuing to the upside, and this was on Wednesday. Yes, so price went up, came down, caused a change of character, then took out liquidity. I think this happened during the areas supply area, and then price came down to mitigate some areas of demand before continuing to the upside. So we had price coming down, going up, sorry, to supply areas, and price came to the downside like that. That's when I took this one, those news here, I took this one with a buy stop order to the upside like that, as you can see. And then price came down like that, okay, to create a high and then change of character. So this one I stated, but this one I took. And coming in the next morning, I think I placed my trailing stop loss to here, and also took some partials. Although I expected price to come all the way up, but because I wasn't around on Wednesday, this was on Wednesday, I think so, yes. I woke up in the morning before I went to work, and I placed on my trailing stop loss, and then left price to continue. So we see that the IBOS was broken, okay, and then IBOS was broken here, so now price began to continue now with the range between that high and that low of that internal structure, because this was the last high of the 15-minute after the break of this high. So now after the range around here, this is now on yeah, this was on Thursday, but yeah, so I wasn't around all this time until on Friday, where I didn't take any trade, and I just waited to see how price will behave all through those times, only for me to realize that they came mitigated, not really mitigated, but formed a high and are close to that 4 hour supply, and then price moved lower, which if you check the 5 minute, we have a change of character around here. Price pushed up to mitigate some supply, and then pushed down. So that meant for me that maybe we could be coming down, or maybe changing direction to the downside. So when price came into this supply, that's when I realized that inside that New York open, we saw price coming to that supply, and that's when I placed my sell stop order here, waiting for NFP, and then moving to the downside. So also this one, I think slippage had my entry moved to this section, which yes, I still left it to just continue to the downside. And as you can see, another confluence was when the start of Friday started. Okay, I noticed that all the way through Thursday and Friday, you know, Asian and before the Frankfurt, all this was just liquidity buildup, which gave me also more evidence that we could be going down. So I didn't actually anticipate that we could come lower to here, but this was a very good move. So as you can see, price came down to those section. So what happened is after price coming down to those section, we see that we had a change of character here, and price has pulled back to the demand but also breached it. So I can't tell of the next move from there, but what I can say is, judging from the 4-hour hindsight, we see that we also still have other section that need to be paid or given attention. So maybe price would be continuing to the downside before maybe changing direction and doing a little bit of pullbacks. So for now, I'll just let price, play out. I won't be around on Monday. So on Tuesday, coming in to my desk, I will want to see how price has behaved all that time, especially on Monday, and look also for the news as days and times to check on when all that will happen. So I don't have much. This was all for today. And coming in next week, I just hope that it will be another good week. Challenge is being okay, 2% up. And I hope to, get finished the first phase one day and very, very soon. So for that, I don't have much to add, but only to ask that you have a nice weekend. Stay blessed, and I hope you took some value from my videos. Don't forget to leave some support for your brother there in the description areas, like the liking and the subscribing, all that, all those things. Yeah. So just leave some support there, and also put on your notification bell so that you don't miss maybe some tips. If you want us to trade together, okay, you can join in my Telegram group. The link will be in my description box. And also, if you need personal coaching, let me know also in my inbox, maybe in the Telegram. And yeah, we'll see what we can work out from there together. So that will just be it. This is JSMFX. That was my weekly focus of 28th to 2nd, actually to 1st of August. It's my birthday month, so stay tuned. I may be having a surprise for all of my viewers. Anyway, thanks for the support. You have a nice day, guys. Be blessed.